in order to explain further and give an example of simping and simpery. I've composed a list of 11 modern simps in our society and given a brief explanation to or as to why these men are simps. Excuse me. So bear with me as we go through this list of the 11 modern simps. And this list is in no particular order of simping or simpery. Number 1 on my list of the top 10 modern simps, Kanye West. Kanye West is a simp in my list and on my list because he has made so many skanks famous. I view him as weak, and he loves to pedestalize. He has made skanks rich and famous. Kanye West, simp supreme. Number 2, Wiz Khalifa. I don't know a whole lot about modern rap music. I'm a 90s guy myself. But what I've heard, even though I can't even think of one song by Wiz Khalifa, I've heard that he's wifed up the same woman that Kanye West made famous in Amber Rose. Wiz Khalifa, you are a simp for wifing up the bust down, for wiping up a loose woman. Number 3, football player Russell Wilson for wifing up Sierra, becoming a cuckold, taking care of another man's child, wifing up the baby mama. Russell Wilson, the football player, you are indeed also a simp supreme. And these men especially, because you're rich. I wish I could show you guys how a man is supposed to do these things, how an immoral man is supposed to do these things. If I had the riches, I will show you how you should deal with women. And when you're a multi-millionaire, your self-esteem is so low, you're such a punk, you're so weak that you'll take up women who are severely used and wife up every industry guy's baby mama. Ridiculous. It's hard to respect any of these men. So number 3 is Russell Wilson for being a cuckold for Sierra. Number 4, any man who has or will see Jennifer Lopez as anything more than a late night rendezvous after several drinks. Any woman who has or will or is dealing with Jennifer Lopez, seeing that, watching her career from On Living Color being a dancing girl, seeing how she's been ran through by the whole industry, to view that anything more than a one night thing, you are indeed a simp. Number 5, the billionaire who married and impregnated Janet Jackson after she's hit the wall so hard. And in being in Muslim and Islamic Arab culture, you should know better, billionaire. Because your culture teaches you something a little different from American culture, but you still wifed her up and gave her a baby. The bunker busting, wall breaking through Janet Jackson, who's like 50 years old, a billionaire. And that's what you picked for your wife, you simp. Number 6, Drake, for crying so much. All of his songs, he cries and he chases all of the industry prostitutes. He's in love with all of them. One of the biggest simps I've ever seen And I heard recently he impregnated some woman on InstaThought, or as they call it, Instagram. Now, how weak can you be? A man whose music in these times, in the last few years, has been at the top. But this is your behavior, huh? See, simping is strong. It's like a force. And these men are full of it. They're possessed by the spirit of simping. And Drake is high on the list in the simp order. Number 7, Scotty Pippen. I'm from Chicago, man. Watched him play with the Bulls. Sorry, Scotty, but you're such a lame. You're such a goofy mog for not divorcing or putting away your woman, who you thought was your woman, after being cheated on by another celebrity. I think his name is Future. But instead of putting her away, instead of divorcing her, instead of leaving her alone, what you go and do after being embarrassed that your wife has gotten down with another celebrity, you go and buy her a ring. He probably even apologized. Baby, I'm sorry I made you go cheat on me with Future. Here's a ring. I know it's my fault. I made you cheat. Maybe I wasn't there enough for you. Maybe I was too busy working. Or maybe I don't have enough money. Or I'm not famous enough anymore. Because in a simp's mind, it's his fault if his woman cheats on him. It's his fault. This is how women think. It's a man's fault if a woman opens her legs and sleeps with another man. Scotty, by buying that ring, you believe it's your fault, don't you? You are such a simp. Maybe even the biggest simp on this list. Number 8 on my list, speaking of basketball players, Kobe Bryant was in the same situation, except the woman didn't sleep on him. He slept with another woman and then bought her the ring, saying he's sorry. That is also simp behavior, but he's also a simp for telling on Shaq and what he did with women outside of his wife. Kobe is a huge simp, one of my favorite basketball players on the court. But you indeed, Kobe Bryant, are indeed a huge simp. But Scottie Pippen has you beat. Again, speaking of basketball players, another simp on this list, Shaq, for forgiving his wife, not only for cheating, but buying another man that she was sleeping with, a house with his money. How weak can you be? Big as ever, strong on the court, fearless, called herself Superman, but you are a super lame and a super simp. Your wife, I don't know if they're still married, but your wife at the time bought another man a house with your money that she was sleeping with. And forgiveness for that? You are an example of what simps ought to be, Shaquille O'Neal. Number 10, Carmelo Anthony. Not only for wifing up Lala, who's been all through the industry, but also for getting your side chick pregnant. You have $1 million Mr. Bippy in your pants, sir. Ought you be more careful with that? With so much to lose monetarily, to behave in that way makes you a simp. Any man who's willing to blow the money that he's made, the millions that he's made on a skank, is indeed simping in the definition of simp. Last on this list, he's powerful. He's famous. He's unique. He's good. In fact, saying that this man is a simp, I need not to explain why. I can simply say his name, for he is the prince or even the king of all simps in this modern era. He's the most popular of simps. He makes simping look easy. Introducing one of the biggest simps in the world, Mr. Steve Harvey, and any man who likes him. He's simping Super Saiyan. One of the most powerful simps to ever walk the planet. In fact, his whole philosophy and doctrine and teaching and representation is that of a simp. He is the king. Mr. Steve Harvey. And any one of you guys who like Steve, you are a suspect simp yourself. Now again, feel free to add to this list as well, as there are too many simps to possibly even name or go through their history or their simping behavior. But there are many examples out there on how not to be. And if you see that behavior within yourself, again, I say repent. In fact, most of us, present company included, has some simping within us. See, we have gone so far from maleness and manhood standards and principles, self-respect and dignity, that all of us can be labeled as a simp in some way. But specifically, in a sense, I am a recovering simp and so are you. And in a sense, you are a simp and I am too, but we try to distance ourselves from this behavior, and I'm going to prove to you that you're a simp as well. Although there are exceptions to this, and I'm not excluding myself, this is therapy. Now, there is no lying in therapy. I say again, there is no lying in therapy. I say again, there is no lying in therapy. This is how you and myself are both simps, with very rare exceptions. Because there are some who don't take a part of this behavior, who don't indulge in this type of behavior. And these are men at the highest level. But again, this is therapy, and I am trying to be therapeutic here. I am trying to work out these issues here. But we are all simps. So think about this. How sick are we all to actually put our Johnsons, so to speak, if you know what I mean, exactly where another man has had his? Now, isn't that weird? Isn't that nasty? Isn't that crazy? How far gone are the minds of men to deal with a woman who is a non-virgin, to put what you have in a woman that has had many others in there? Think about that. I barely want to stick my finger where somebody else had their finger. I don't want food that someone else has touched. I don't want something that someone else has eaten off of. But yet we remain as men who take on women who have been, yes, ejaculated in, yes, been with several other men, and we still take that and see it as valuable and treasurable. We wife it up, we deal with it, we sleep with it, we lay next to it, we have it on our side, we sacrifice for it, we live for it, we die for it, we work for it. Now, isn't that sad? So we all have a little bit of simp in us, and there are men who no longer take part in that behavior. And to you, men, you are the wise. You are the ones who are recovered. Teach us your secrets. More of us need to be like you, and then maybe women wouldn't do the things that they do. If we set a standard, if we stop simping, maybe things can change. But we know this is just idealistic. But the coming economic collapse and fall of society, we may be able to start anew and fresh and put an end forever to simping. This is Black Ram 313. Much respect and appreciation for you all. Thank you for listening. I am out.